톡톡님, 뭐하고 계세요?
I'm watching some news.
어떤 뉴스요?
News on the Turkey and Syria earthquakes. More than 46,000 people have died because of the earthquakes.
그렇네요. 여기 튀르키예 현대 역사상 최악의 인명피해로 기록됐다라고 나와 있어요.
Relief goods are difficult to be delivered to Syria because of the ongoing civil war.
너무 안타깝네요.
I wonder if there's anything we could do.
그러게요. 뭐가 있을까? 튀르키예 대사님을 만나서 한번 여쭤볼까요? 시리아는 한국에 대사관이 없지만 튀르키예는 한국에 대사관이 있잖아요.
Should we call now?
네, 지금 한번 해봐요. 안녕하세요. 저는 지금 터키 대사관 앞에 와 있고요. 오늘 급하게 연락을 드렸는데 대사님께서 인터뷰 허락을 해주셔서 오늘 인터뷰를 하게 됐습니다. 그래서 그럼 대사관으로 일단 들어가 볼게요. 일단 보시면 조기가 걸려 있어요. 여기 앞에 한국에서 옥상이나 커뮤니티에서 이렇게 조기를 펴고 있대요. I saw relief goods piled up on my way in. I went to the office to meet the ambassador. Hello, ambassador. Hi. Nice to meet you again.
The ambassador who greeted me looked very haggard.
Try to do good under the circumstances.
And the earthquake situation was being broadcast on the TV in the office. I began the interview with a heavy heart.
Okay, Ambassador, thank you for granting this interview. And first of all, we would like to express our deepest sympathies and condolences to the people of Turkey. You must have received a lot of calls since the earthquake in Turkey, and I've heard that President Yoon Suk-yeol visited the embassy recently.
Thank you so much for coming here, giving your condolences and giving me this opportunity to talk with the public, I guess. It's been a horrible disaster, struck Turkey in the morning of February 6th.
At around 4 a.m. local time on February 6th, an earthquake of magnitude 7.8 struck southeastern Turkey and northwestern Syria. The earthquake was recorded as one of the worst so far in the 21st century. More than 3,000 aftershocks have killed more than 40,000 people in both Turkiye and Syria. In Turkiye, it was the fifth highest death toll among all the earthquakes that have occurred worldwide in the past 20 years. In Syria, the UN estimates that more than 5.3 million people have lost their homes. Meanwhile, UNICEF estimates that the earthquake has affected more than 7 million children, around 4.6 million in Turkiye and 2.5 million in Syria. The economic damage is also expected to be considerable. A report by the Turkish Enterprise and Business Confederation put the damages at $84.1 billion, which amounts to around 10% of Turkey's GDP.
We are working relentlessly to heal our wounds within Turkey and also from the aid and foreign search and rescue teams and aid coming from Turkey. It's a huge task is ahead of us, but we are doing and will do our very best. President Yoon expressed his condolence to our president, of course, at the very first day. And the next day, he personally come to the embassy, expressed his condolences. He put his remarks on the book of condolence. He was very genuine and it was very personal. It was like he left his president hat outside. He came here as a Korean person to express his feelings to us. It was very emotional and we are very grateful to him.
How are your acquaintances, friends or families in Turkey?
I don't have any friends or relatives at the region. Well, relatives at the region, but Ministry of Foreign Affairs representative to the Hatay region, my good friend, long time Ambassador Devrim. He's still under the rubbles. He's like a good friend for more than 30 years. I really felt bad about him, and we're still praying for him.
So how is the current situation in Turkey?
Search and rescue operations almost is coming to an end. They are working very hard to save lives, one life even. They are all the search and rescue operations, Turkish and foreigners. They are really brave people because they are risking their lives, their most precious thing, their lives, to save a life. And that's not for sure it's going to come out alive or not, but they nevertheless. There was a 72 hour, they used to say that there was a golden mark for the saving living person, but I guess the search and rescue workers in Turkey, they rewrite terms of reference for the search and rescue. Now I just saw on the television that after 229 hours, they rescue some people under the rubbles. But nevertheless, it was a devastating earthquakes. Twin earthquake happened. It's very seldom that kind of earthquakes happen. One struck at 4:17 a.m. in the 6th of February, and right after, say, 8-9 hours, second earthquake struck, which is 7.6 of magnitude. 13.5 million people get affected, and it's 10 provinces, covered many small, large-scale cities and townships and villages in that area. And each township, city, it's like a hit by a nuclear bomb. The devastation is that large. So we are doing our very best. About 36,000 people lost their lives. Around 10,000 houses demolished. As I said, there's a huge task in front of us, but first this search and rescue operation has to be concluded, and the second phase will be the cleaning the area, cleaning the rubbles, and then rebuilding, of course. I mean, it's everything human being needs.
Were there any other reasons that the scale of damage were greater this time compared to previous earthquakes?
There are many reasons. Earthquakes don't kill people, buildings kill. So first of all, we have to build better buildings. But on the other hand, as I mentioned, 2 earthquakes happened. It was very shallow earthquake. It was 7 kilometers below the surface. That considered very, very shallow. So the power, the energy was so big. And some say that even there was a good building, it couldn't stand up. There was a hit and the power was so much. Energy it put, it's around 32 times of Hiroshima nuclear bomb. That is the size. So even there's a very strong, very well-built building, how the building will stand up is quite questionable. But nevertheless, we have to build better buildings in order to protect our people.
When Turkiye and Syria were hit by February's devastating earthquakes, governments and relief organizations scrambled to dispatch emergency relief teams, funds, and equipment. The Korean government has also stepped up to provide relief for the earthquake victims. On February 7th, the Korean government dispatched KDRT, consisting of 118 people from the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and National Defense, the Fire Administration, and KOIKA to Turkiye by military transport. It also decided to provide Turkiye with a first round of humanitarian aid worth $5 million. On February 16th, a second relief group was dispatched consisting of 21 medical staff and officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and private emergency relief organizations. They will also deliver 55 tons of additional relief items such as winter tents, blankets, and sleeping bags worth 1 billion won to the Turkiye Disaster Management Agency, or AFAD.
It is a test of humanity. It's a test of humanity, but so far humanity is passing this test quite well, and I have to say that I saw this goodness in this world hasn't died yet. There's still some goodness in the world left.
So what do you think the people of Turkey need the most right now?
Our needs the tents we need. The weather conditions in the area is quite harsh. Blankets, sleeping bags, pampers for the adults and babies, generators, of course, you know this. Today's technology, everything needs electricity, so even the telephones we need portable toilets and showers. Today is 10th day, 11th day, there's no electricity or running water in most of the areas. In the future, when the weather start getting warmer, the sanitary conditions will be cause of concern.
Tips on how to send relief goods to Turkey and what to avoid. When sending relief goods to Turkey, write down the list of items and aid material Turkey on the box. If you're sending relief goods from Korea, send them to the following address, and they will be delivered to Turkey through Turkish Airlines. Tents, blankets, electric heaters, sleeping bags are desperately needed for those who have lost their homes. Hygiene is also said to be an issue, so hand sanitizers, face masks, baby wipes, feminine products, and diapers are also needed. Remember, used items should be avoided if possible, as used items have to go through a cleaning and sanitization process. Please send new items that can be used right away as the local situation is urgent. If you want to send money donations, you can send them through the official Turkish Embassy bank account or international relief organizations like UNICEF. Make sure to check if the organization you are sending money donations to is legitimate. Before sending the donation, you can check the embassy website, Facebook, or Twitter for related information. We hope that the relief goods will be of help to those who have been affected by the disaster.
So last time you mentioned that Korea and Turkey are brother countries. So do you feel it that Koreans are very interested in Turkey?
When we had a meeting with you a couple of months back, I was talking about the brotherhood blood brotherhood existed between Turkish and Korean people. But my feelings wasn't as strong as it now. Right after this incident, earthquake, our telephones completely blocked, millions of emails coming in, and from the president to the ordinary Korean on the street, they're asking not to just they want to give, but what can we do for Turkey? This is very meaningful. And I believe that our brotherhood is not just a lip service, but it really has a roots in the hearts and souls of the Korean and Turkish people.
What do you think we can do more for Turkey?
Well, we are already doing fantastic. There's a Korean search and rescue team in Turkey right now, and I was at the airport to bid them farewell, and I told them, if you save one life, it means that you are saving the humanity. And please, your safety should be your first concern, and please come back safe. And I want to welcome each and every one of you when you come back. They show everybody that Korean discipline, dedication, and compassion. They work very hard. They save more than one life. They save many lives. And they win the hearts and soul of the Turkish people. I saw the videos that the Turkish people were coming in and writing on their tents that how grateful they are. Even they're writing in Korean. They show the meaning of the Korean quality even at the search and rescue operations. No one can stand alone in this world. And all international community should work hand in hand in solidarity to relieve the pain and sufferings of the people. It did happen in our case that some countries that we have political differences, but they put those differences on side and immediately they come to our aid. And we did the same thing in the past for our neighbors and other countries, that because this is humanity, this is the test of humanity. I read someplace, one of the old kingdoms of Korea is a Shilla kingdom. And Shilla people, known for the people that they never give up. So us Turkish people are like Shilla people that will never give up. We'll bounce back. our aid from our brothers and allies will just shorten that time. I'm also very much grateful to the government of Korea. And from then on to the ordinary, as I said, the Korean, our brothers and sisters, their heart is beating with our heart. We are really, really brothers and sisters, and that will continue forever. We are very much grateful for Korea. Thank you, Korea.
Thank you very much.
After the interview, I went to the place prepared by the embassy to express condolences. I could see that many Koreans, including President Yoon Suk-yeol, had already visited the place. There was a person that came to mind after interviewing the ambassador. It was Mr. Oh Soo-up, whom we visited during our previous episode featuring the Turkish ambassador. For a bit of background information, Mr. Oh grew up at Ankara School, which was established by Turkish soldiers during the Korean War. In 1950, when the Korean War broke out, Turkey rushed to dispatch troops as a member of the United Nations. At the time, Turkish troops also took care of Korean War orphans. In 1952, they established Ankara School in Suwon, Gyeonggi-do Province, and continued to provide humanitarian assistance for war orphans until 1966, when their last remaining squadron withdrew. Until closing its doors in 1979, Ankara School is estimated to have been attended by around 600 children.
터키 지진 소식 듣고 좀 심경이 어떠셨는지 궁금해요.
암담했죠. 참 뭐 그런 일이 일어나니까, 없던 일이 일어나니까 마음이 좀 언짢았죠.
지진 나고 바로 그 성금을 내셨다고 들었어요. 어떤 마음으로 기부를 하셨는지.
옛날에 내가 도움을 받았으니까 그걸 갚는 뜻으로 했죠. 마음으로 해서. 터키 그거 가지고 뭐 큰 적이는 안 되겠지만은 좀 유한이 될까 하고 보냈어요. 전쟁 와중에서도 아동들을 걷어서 학교 공부시켜주고 그랬으니까 그게 얼마나 고마워요. 안 했으면 오늘날에 내가 없었겠죠. 안 그래? 그때 우리가 한 90명이 있었네요, 전부 거기. 전쟁통에 일본에서 세라복 있죠. 우리나라는 입어보지 못한 세라복. 그걸 전부 다 수입해다 줬어요. 전쟁통에 못 먹고 못 입는 거 아니야. 근데 일본 옷을 수입해다가 우리한테 다 입혀줬어. 받은 만큼은 못 줬지만은 내가 할 수 있는 거는 했다는 생각까지 마음만 우러나서 하면 되는 거지. 뭐. 내 자신이. 잘 이겨내시리라고 뭐 부탁, 비는 수밖에 없지 뭐. 어려움을 겪어야 어려움을 안 겪고 본인도 어려움을 안 겪었잖아요. 나가 아니라 우리 앙카라 거기 있는 사람들은 굉장한 고마움을 가지고 있는데 그걸 어떻게 표현할 수가 없는 상황이거든요.
While interviewing Mr. Oh, I sincerely prayed that his heart would be delivered to the people of Turkiye.
가도 될까요, 팀장님? 시작할까요? 그리고 혹시 튀르키예에 파견되어 있는 한국 긴급 구호대도 연결해 볼 수 있을까요? 현지에 계시면 상황을 더 잘 알고 계실 것 같아서요.
Good idea. I'll get in touch.
시작할까요?
Thanks to TokTok, I could talk to the head of humanitarian operations at Good Neighbors Global Partnership Center.
몇 가지만 추가로 더 여쭤볼게요.
Most of people in the Kahramanmaraş, one of the most affected area, they are still living in cars, tents, and temporary shelters on the street or in the public area, with the fear of unpredictable aftershocks. And in addition, the harsh cold weather makes things worse. Good Neighbors has provided the most needed life-saving items to the affected population. In addition, the Good Neighbors visited the most vulnerable people such as elders, disabled, and pregnant who cannot come to our distribution points. And furthermore, Good Neighbors plans to expand our operation, not only distribution of food and essential items to those who are left behind so far, but also providing psychosocial support for children. Our collective effort from Korea can make a great change here in Turkiye. Your small donation or your small concern and prayer is really, really helpful to recover Turkiye as before.
However, there is a place where relief aid is not being reached properly. It is Syria. As of February 17th, around 6,000 have lost their lives in Syria. However, aid has not reached northwestern Syria, which is under international sanctions due to the al-Assad regime. The al-Assad regime has been designated as a state sponsor of terrorism by Western countries. In particular, with rebels revolting against the dictatorship of President Bashar al-Assad in 2011, Syria has been undergoing a civil war for over 10 years. The only humanitarian aid routes allowed into Syria by the UN Security Council is through Bab al-Hawa between Turkiye and Syria. As such, relief goods are only being delivered through this land route. But with President al-Assad agreeing to open 2 more borders crossing with Turkiye, Ar-Salam and Ar-Rai, the first UN relief trucks have entered Syria's northwestern region on the 14th. I've heard that the situation in Syria is much more difficult. I wondered what the current situation was like in Syria.
This area is especially the affected area in Syria is also one of the hot spot during the conflict indeed, so that there are a lot of humanitarian needs and gaps exist before this earthquake. However, on top of the existing humanitarian gaps, this earthquake make it was more and more. Most of the humanitarian agencies, including United Nations and Good Neighbors, we are planning to cross-border operation from Turkey's side to Syria. In Syria, there are a lot of humanitarian gaps, not only food and shelter, but also other hygiene, water, and other safety protection needs are there. We can truly find that in the coordination meeting. So we are currently discussing how to fill such gaps collectively. Most of the humanitarian agencies, including United Nations and Good Neighbors.
While talking to these people, I thought that I should help the people suffering from this earthquake. So I went to buy some relief goods. After safely packaging the items, I headed over to where they were receiving them. Although it may not be much, I hoped these items would be of help to those in need. The auditorium was already full of relief goods donated by many citizens.
힘들어하는 사람들 보면은 마음도 너무 아프고 조금이나마 보탬이 되는 행동을 했으면 좋겠다고 싶어서 어제 오늘 기부를 하고 있어요. 어제부터.
그냥 너무 안 됐고 내가 기르는 것 같아서 마음이 너무 아파가지고.
And volunteers continued to visit the site.
혹시 자원봉사하러 오셨나요?
네.
I also found the employees of an entire company who came to donate items.
어떤 제품 기부하셨는지.
전기가 없는 지역에 방마다 불을 켤 수 있고 그다음에 라디오 기능도 있고 핸드폰 충전도 할 수 있는 그런 홈 시스템을 저희가 제품을 개발했었고요. 태양광으로 충전할 수 있기 때문에 지금 튀르키예 사정과 같이 충전을 하기 어려운 상황에서도 언제든지 사용할 수 있는 그런 제품을 이번에 기부하게 되었습니다.
어떤 마음으로 좀 기부를 하러 오게 되셨는지.
지난주에 지진이 났었는데 바로 이틀 뒤에 저희가 어떻게 보면 필요할 수 있겠다는 생각이 들어서 바로 제품을 생산을 하기 시작을 했고.
그럼 이걸 기부를 하시려고 따로 그 제품을 생산을 하신 거예요?
네, 맞습니다.
Although they are countries located far away, I thought everyone around the world must be feeling the same way, worrying about the victims.
많은 국민분들이 마음을 모아준 만큼 따뜻한 위로가 될 수 있으면 좋겠습니다.
마음이 너무 안타깝고 뭐라고 얘기를 한들 뭐 위로가 되겠어요. 이런 상황에 하루빨리 좀 정리가 돼서 그저 이제 마음이 편하게 좀 지내셨으면 빨리 이 상황이 극복이 되었으면 하고 진심으로 바랍니다.
전 세계에서 모든 사람들이 정말 다 보고 있어요. 그분들 하시는 거 너무 안 됐고 너무 정말 참 마음이 참담합니다. 좋은 날이 꼭 올 거라고 힘내시라고 이렇게 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
마음으로 이렇게 정성으로 이렇게 협력하고 있으니까 힘내시라고 하겠습니다.
용기 잃지 마시고 꼭 힘내서 잘 이겨내셨으면 좋겠습니다.
저희가 보낸 물품을 받으셔서 조금이나마 도움이 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
To everyone suffering from the latest earthquakes. Whenever Korea was in need, I know that Turkiye always sent a helping hand. Although it may not amount to much, I would also like to help. It is not just because of the thought since they helped us when we needed help, we should help them too. It is because there are no sides in the face of tragedy. There are only humans. They say that it is difficult to deliver relief goods or for rescue teams to enter Syria. It is unfortunate that the political situation is preventing help from getting to where it is needed in such times of disaster. Putting politics aside, I will pray that future damages will be minimized. I will pray for miracles and hope to be with you.